everybody. It's Beverly from freshVibes, and today we have a very, very special guest, Alice Nkom, who is a prominent Cameroonian lawyer and human rights defender who's particularly known for her outstanding work in advocating for the rights of the LGBTQIA+ community in Cameroon. Welcome, Alice.
Bonjour à vous et à vos auditeurs. Good afternoon for you all and all your auditors. Very happy to be here. Very happy to convey my message to you because I hope we are in the same boat, defending human rights.
Could you take us back a bit to the beginning of your career, not just career, but I like to believe your mission in life to advocate for the rights of marginalized people, particularly the LGBTQIA+ community. How did it start in Cameroon?
Yes, it was a premiere in Cameroon in terms of human rights. Because, as you may know, Cameroon is a repressive country for LGBT rights, for who they are. We have a provision in the Penal Code 347(1), which condemn homosexuality. As a lawyer, I started this 20 years ago, exactly. Why? Because when I used to go to the court and I used to see these young people coming, with hand crop, and I used to listen to why they were there. And what I noticed is that it was a very specific crime for someone who studied law, because we have many elements that must be gathered together to make a crime be a legal crime. And that was not the case for homosexuality, because in this court, penal part of the tribunal, there was always a plaintiff who was complaining about action of X, Y against him and with a prejudice for him. But for homosexuality, there were no plaintiff. But they were there. They didn't do anything against individuals. They didn't do anything against the state, because this can happen. But why are they here? And then I tried to know more about this specific crime. And I say, wow, I cannot leave this, because when we study law, they told us that a crime has two elements. You have material elements, and this material element must be joined with intention to do bad. Both, only both. You cannot take one and say that you have a crime. You must have both to say, okay, the crime is there. In the case of homosexuals, there is no plaintiff, no prejudice. So it cannot be a crime. And sometimes, I used to be with young people. They love to come with me to discuss. And I say, maybe among them, there are some who are homosexual. So maybe I can do something for them and for the others. And so I try to think about how to make it. Where can we start? And I understood that it was easier if you accept that LGBT rights are human rights. And so I could defend it as an element of the values of human rights and for democratic rights. So I set in place an organization, like you can have a lot of them, that defend human rights. And then I decided to defend these specific human rights because I knew that people needed to know that this is a human right, and that I will have to demonstrate that this is a human right. And consequently, If it is a human right, it cannot be a crime. If it is a human right, it cannot be something that takes someone to prison. It must be something that must be protected, like all private life in the Constitution and everywhere. So I set up an organization, and I decided to call it organization to protect, to defend homosexuality. I didn't want to say to protect the rights of, because I wanted people to be shocked when they see the name, when they hear about the name, and then to ask me, how can it be? How can you defend? And then I had a lot of answer to give to all. I say, okay, if it is a crime, like I used to defend people who kill other people, murders. You never ask me why. You never condemn me. So I went to, with this name, I prepared the status. I went to where we must go and deposit it, so that the first official, we call it in French préfet, must just have to know that you are working on human rights, and check if it is not against the public morality, or if it's not against security, public security. And then you proceed and start defending human rights, like his boss, the President of the Republic, which is his job to protect. Not, yeah. So, if, of course, this prefect, he told me that he cannot understand that a lawyer like me, I can ask him to accept, to legalize this kind of organization that is against the penal law. I say yes, but it is just because you don't know that it is, the crime is for you and me, for putting this in the penal cause, like if there were thieves or murders, or this is a crime. They are not the crime, but this is a crime. So I show the Constitution, I saw many, many, many other things. And the prefect is, okay, bon, I didn't know all this. Now you convince me. I have no one argument to refuse to legalize your organization. So today in Cameroon, you have this association with this name. And now we have a platform of 38 community organization working for LGBT, but for the other specific rights for them, we must try to change the way we look at them, the way we take them as a full citizen in our country, and instead of repressing, condemning, putting them in jail, try to put them in a whole citizenship, like you and me, and to put them in the protection, under the protection of the law and of the state and of the family, of everybody, like it must be. That is why I am very proud of myself, because now people know that, many people know that my war is a good war. And some of them join me, maybe not in front of people, but they used to tell me that I'm doing the good job, this, and this job has to be done. Voilà. It lasts now 20 years, 21, exactly.
I think for me, it's really inspiring and hard to fathom on this at the same time that you've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And you talk about a repressive context that you're working in, that you're defending rights.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt tired? Like it...
No.
Okay.
I cannot, because my strategy is a strategy in all the, you see, psychological. People I must enter in the psychology of people know what they're thinking, know and give them answers without letting them know that I know that they're thinking this or that. But I must bring all the answers of what I know they are afraid of. And so that everybody can have answers. So I fought against the churches, I fought against judges, because you have a lot of common ignorance of the law in Cameroon, ignorance, because we don't have only the penal code. The penal code is in a pyramid of other law, and the penal code is on the bottom of this pyramid, and above you have the constitution that put only the principles, and then above you have the international law. The constitution say that you must first look at what Cameroon is involved in internationally, because when our president go to the UN, it is in the name of the people and to see how he can better protect his people, that means us, which people don't know. So you cannot put it in the constitution, which is the main law containing the principle of our relationship with the state, with the president, who sworn on this constitution when he is elected, which start with this universal, and then you take the laws like the one that prosecutes homosexuals, because it is an equal, because it set up discrimination, which is forbidden by this declaration, which become a law in Cameroon. There is something we have to correct to be coherent in our laws. And the Supreme Court is there to say how we must interpret the laws, how we apply it. And I think that if I still have time, when I defend someone in the first instance and then Court of Appeal, and if I can reach the Supreme Court, I have no doubt that I will succeed. I will have a good judgment from the Supreme Court saying that you cannot put someone in prison through this provision of the penal code. I'm sure for that. But the problem is how to get a specific case up to the Supreme Court, because I have a dilemma. If they imprison someone, and I know that I go to the court, if I release it, I will never go to the Supreme Court. If they release him, or sometimes if they condemn it, I'm very happy, and then I fight to get him a liberté provisoire, bail, and then I wished him to be condemned, not to the full 5 years, because that enabled me to go up to the Supreme Court, where I can have my last decision saying that homosexuality cannot be a crime in our country. If you look at the other laws above the penal code, these two specific laws above the penal code are the Constitution and the international law, because we ratified this, that it is forbidden to make the difference. You must serve the same rights to all the citizens and all the human beings living in your territory.
I mean, you've been fighting for over 20 years, and you're saying that there has been some progress. 38 organizations now that are protecting the rights of the LGBTQI plus community. But what is your perspective on the future? Not only in Cameroon, but also when you look at other African countries where homosexuality is criminalized, living your sexuality publicly can really put you in a very dangerous situation.
Well, this is a good question. I'm afraid of the future in terms of human rights, not only, but especially for LGBT rights. Time is running. We need to have also big countries behind activists. Today, not tomorrow, today, to try to move forward our train of human rights, of democracy, of yes. So the small work we have done up to now will all disappear, explode, if we don't push it that back. We have to do that. We have the best message. We, preaching love, preaching human rights, we are the one who must speak loud. Time is now to complete our train, to put the locomotive and the wagon together, to have a train that move forward with our principle, our people, our everything, to move forward and take it seriously and do the job. I'm 80 now. It's maybe late to me, but I want this to start before I go away. And so please, be my tongue and be my ear and take it seriously. We should organize ourselves in the same way and do the job together. We, as civil society, especially in Cameroon, I know we are ready for that, but we are waiting for instructions, and all we need from the locomotive of the train to see how, when we can fight openly against this, because we are all in the same boat. If we lose our human rights, if we use our principle of liberty, independence, freedom, we are all in a very, very bad situation. In the future, we better put a cross on it. I just want this to happen. I'm living, but I want younger generation like you to evolve in a safe, free, and developing area, to take the world in the better lane. I want you to promise that to me before I leave here. Okay?
Thank you very much for sharing. I mean, everything that you've shared also really touched me on a deep level. Yeah, yes, because, you know, I also consider myself an activist and human rights defender. And sometimes I feel so stuck. I feel like there's no progress. It doesn't get better. Everything gets worse. But this reminder that only together, and together means not just in your area, in your bubble, but really across all levels, is where we can make an impact.
Very important. Very important. Yes. It is very important. And we will win. We must win. You have no choice. If we don't, and we sink all together.
So we'll promise you as much as we can to take your word forward. And like you said, not just tomorrow, but today.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time is now. Okay? I love you all.
We love you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.